Ministers' inspection of ongoing federal government projects across the country in progress. Federal government steps up humanitarian intervention for flood victims. Plus, stories and politics and more in today's package. It's Panorama, and I'm your host, Ruth Aguele. Welcome. Minister of Works David Umahi says the Tinubu administration inherited 2,604 road projects covering 18,000 kilometers and will cost 14 trillion naira. The minister stated this while briefing State House correspondents, saying the Tinubu administration had so far paid 4 trillion naira out of the 14 trillion owed to contractors, with 6 trillion naira funding gap across the country.
We have a number of programs for our road development under the previous administration, and of course we inherited all the projects. We've not dropped any of the projects, but curious to know that some of these projects have lasted for 20 years, some 10 years. In fact, in most cases they are never appropriated throughout every tenure. And so I went to seek Mr. President's nod so that I will be able to terminate some of the projects that have stayed up to 10 years without any defined source of funding. I discussed that with Mr. President. And I also noted, and I shared it with Mr. President, the way appropriation is being done is not healthy to develop our road infrastructure. For example, for a road that may cost 10 billion, an appropriation of 150 million is made. It is just for the contractor to take and put his pocket, because where an average cost of project that we inherited is about 700 million per kilometer, and you are giving out 150 million for the whole year, then you are just enhancing the pocket of the contractor.
The minister decried the current appropriation system for federal road projects, noting that the piecemeal disbursement of funds to contractors is frustrating delivery. He noted the short lifespan of some roads necessitated his recent proposal to the president to redesign and construct future roads with reinforced concrete.
And the worrisome part of this is that even the ones that are being funded properly, the roads hardly will last up to 5 years. So I briefed Mr. President on what we are doing by introducing reinforced concrete technology for our road pavement. I know there are a lot of fights from contractors, but I'm David, I'm known for fight, and I will fight this because I have reported myself to Mr. President. But incidentally, Mr. President is also an infrastructure guru, and he's fully in support that we should use reinforced concrete for our road pavement.
The minister appealed to the president to engage the National Assembly on prioritizing some of the road projects for speedy completion. Collaboration among the Ministry of Niger Delta Development, Niger Delta Development Commission, and all the state governors in the Niger Delta region is a tested recipe to fast-track development in the region. These are the words of the Minister of Niger Delta Development, Abubakar Momo, during his familiarization tour and inspection of projects in Cross River State. Paul Abel reports.
Been sworn into office a few weeks ago, and with the passion to make a difference in the Niger Delta region, the minister is embarking on this visit to ascertain the projects undertaken by the ministry before implementation of policies. But the minister must first visit the Cross River State governor represented by his deputy, where they both agreed on the dilapidated nature of the East-West Road, Calabar-Uyo Road, and the needs to return the supervision of construction work to that of the Niger Delta development.
Let us come together, all the ministers in the Niger Delta, the governors, and the political leaders. I believe If all this group of persons come together with one voice, there's no doubt, no way that this cannot be better than they are today.
This Calabar road, we have been crying about it for the past 7 to 8 years. It has been this bad, if I remember correctly. In fact, what you see today is even better because there were some remedial works that were being done in certain, very bad area.
With the courtesy call over, the minister and his entourage embarked on inspection to the 1.9-kilometer internal road project at Akamko community, where he also engaged the contractors on the unfinished part of the job. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
The Minister of Transportation, Saidu Ahmad Al-Khali, says the federal government remains resolute towards the completion of the Kaduna-Zaria Kano double-track standard gauge rail project under construction. Aminu Umar reports that the minister inspected the Makarfi axis of the project, which is critical to the socio-economic development of Kano and Kaduna states.
Sleeper placement at the construction site along Makarfi axis of the Kaduna-Zaria Kano double-track standard gauge rail project. The project, which commenced in 2021, scheduled to be completed in 36 months as single track and later reviewed to double track, now stands at 22%, with track laying at about 14 kilometers out of the 89 kilometers from Makarfi to Kano. Minister of Transportation Saidu Ahmad Al-Khali, who received progress report as part of his inspection mission to the site, assured to do all it takes to ensure the project is timely and successfully delivered.
As we stand here, we start raising some little observations on the clips they are using. We ask them to use anti-theft clips so that they cannot be easily removed.
Apart from track laying, earth and civil engineering work is going on steadily along the axis inspected, with hundreds of Nigerians earning a living at the construction sites. In Kano, Aminu Umar, NTA News.
Minister of Solid Minerals, Dele Alake, says the Solid Minerals Corporation will attract more local and foreign investment required to reposition the sector for rapid development. A statement by his head of information, Alaba Balogun, indicates that this is one of the reasons the minister, Dele Alake, embarked on an advocacy visit to the Australian Perth Conference on Mining to market Nigeria as a global destination for mining. The minister shows that the Nigerian Mining Corporation will serve as a special purpose vehicle for joint ventures with multinationals. The minister notes that the 30-day ultimatum given to illegal miners was to make them join cooperatives and become formalized for them to continue their trade. This, he says, is to regulate the sector, coupled with the proposed interagency security force that will become operational to sanitize the industry after the expiration of the 30-day ultimatum. Flowing flood incidents, search and rescue operations conducted by the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA and the State Emergency Management Agency SEMA in several communities affected by flood in 2022. The federal government has offered special intervention to support the victims in Cross River State. Udwak Etienne reports that the federal government has been commended also for the implementation and timely distribution of special national economic and livelihood emergency interventions.
It would be recalled that the 2022 flood disaster affected many communities across the country, including Cross River State, as many homes, farmlands and crops were destroyed. The federal government, in its effort to assist the victims, distributed food and non-food items as special national economic livelihood emergency intervention through the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA to the affected states, and Cross River State is one of the beneficiaries. These relief items were delivered to the State Emergency Management Agency SEMA in Calabar.
I want to say thank you to Mr. President and all his team for their wonderful support towards
This is the first of its kind that relief materials or palliatives are sent from the federal government and they got to the beneficiaries.
The Director General NEMA Mustafa Ahmed, represented by the supervisors Nelly, Cross River State, who flagged off the distribution exercise, together with the Deputy Governor, Cross River State, Peter Ode, commiserated with those that lost their livelihoods and advised that people should be proactive against flooding.
The state government is very happy about it, that the federal government has decided to do something for them.
This is a special intervention from the presidency, which the federal government has approved in respect of 2022 flood victims, which we have been enumerated all over the country.
A total of 10,876 beneficiaries were enumerated in Cross River State. In Calabar, Uduak Etam, NTA News.
In line with that development, capacity building and all its ramifications bring about achievable approach in managing most difficult situations for the overall development of the society. Director General, National Emergency Management Agency, Mustafa Habib Ahmed, stated this at the closing of the 3-day capacity building training for officials of NEMA and that of the State Emergency Management Agencies in Abuja. Ilyasu Yakubu reports.
In which brought together the staff of NEMA and that of the State Emergency Management Agencies was a deliberate attempt to foster cooperation, collaboration, experience sharing, and enhance synergy between the federal and state agencies in the delivery of their mandate. It was also designed to strengthen capacity in the areas of humanitarian coordination mechanisms, disaster management cycle, and institutional capacity, resource mobilization, information management, community-based disaster management, search and rescue, incident command system, disaster preparedness, risk management, and early warning system, among others. The DG NEMA said the agency is looking beyond the present and working towards building a more robust system of disaster management where all relevant stakeholders are not only aware but also prepared to carry out their roles in the management of disaster.
I therefore wish to congratulate the participants for being lucky to be part of this training. I encourage you to apply the knowledge gained and skills acquired towards improving the service rendered in your various agencies and locations.
The head of UN OCHA office, Mr. Trond Jensen, who was represented by the head of government, Liazin, Mr. Ibrahim Bari, promised that the UN organization will continue to collaborate with NEMA in the discharge of its mandates.
Our role as humanitarian is to support the government in responding to this.
The 2023 flood disaster is envisaged to be more devastating based on the seasonal climate prediction and flood outlook by NIMET and NISA. In Abuja, Ilyasu Yakubu, NTA News.
All right, we're going to break now. We're back shortly. Please stay tuned.
The counsel of our fathers.
I will urge and advise our younger generation to use talent and brain to sort out problems, not arms.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. You probably do not know what it is.
I believe we have fought one civil war too many in this country. So those who experience it will run away from it.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
Welcome back. The National Agency for Food, Drugs and Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has reinstated its commitment to rid the country of unwholesome foods, harmful cosmetics, and other substandard regulated products with falsified NAFDAC registration numbers. The Director General of the agency, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, stated this at a media briefing in Lagos on the arrest and seizure of products across the country.
The Director General of NAFDAC narrating to newsmen how a syndicate who specializes in importing banned Crusader soaps containing mercury using forged custom documents to import the products into the country have been nabbed. She explained that acting on intelligence, men of the Investigation and Enforcement Directorate of the agency busted a warehouse located at the Trade Fair Market in Lagos, which was filled with banned imported soaps, 3 trailer loads of Crusader medicated and Mikako soaps, estimated at 1 billion naira.
These products have found their way into various supermarkets and cosmetics shops with unsuspecting members of the public patronizing them.
Similarly, the agency arrested a man in Niger State who produces adulterated yogurt using custard and other unwholesome and banned ingredients for the production. Although the man's company was initially given approval by NAFDAC to produce yogurt, the Director General said later findings revealed that the company was being used for a different purpose.
For those companies that are in our pipeline, meaning their process is going through registration, and decide to make the product without approval, this is what happens. We are confiscating all the products. They are on hold now, and they're going to be destroyed.
NAFDAC, however, assured Nigerians that only quality, safe and wholesome food and cosmetics are sold in the country. In Lagos, Lane Lenake, NTA News.
Talking politics now, the People's Democratic Party is confident of reclaiming Kogi State in the November 11 governorship election. This was the position of many leaders of the party during the unveiling of a policy document of its governorship candidate, Senator Dino Melaye, at the party's headquarters in Abuja. Let's hear more from Timothy Yusuf.
Presentation of the policy document tagged Solution Book by the governorship candidate for the People's Democratic Party in Kogi State, Dino Melaye. The document identified areas of focus for the governorship candidate if victorious in the upcoming election.
Oga, this is the thing where we do. Make you look at that book, try and do it. And that is the only way we can help him.
And I know that this document will be able to give us a direction. And when we have a direction, we know the man that we're working with. He will follow it and he will make good with it.
It's going to be a new dawn. It's going to be a new order. It's going to be a new day.
Many here believe that a policy document has become imperative to give Kogi State a direction for its growth and development going forward. They recommended that there must be an independent Kogi State Economic Development Commission, and when Dino Melaye becomes the governor, people that will constitute that commission should be independent, credible, and have influence on the activities of the governor. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Professionals under the Institute of Corporate Administration are proposing a knowledge-driven and innovative approach in the strategic implementation of the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu's administration. Tokpe Alabi will fill us in on that.
Unlocking potentials of the 31st ranked economy in the world with a growing gross domestic product of about 27% is deepening discussion with solutions in sight by these professionals. They are corporate administrators who believe the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu is a sure way to ending the dark days of Nigeria economy and restoring hope in oil and non-oil sectors through knowledge-driven innovative strategies as the key to managing the country's challenges for desired results.
From the agricultural age to the industrial age to the information age and now in the innovation age, many are yet to understand it. And this is the age where you need a lot of creativity, looking for disruptive way of doing things instead of recycling the old practices.
If this camera that you are using for us now, if it's not an innovative one, nobody gonna mind you. So innovation, make goods and services to sell. And the awakening is now.
Apart from welcoming new members to wheel the door knob faster, the professionals are also determined in the recovery of lost times and building a country where surplus and purchasing power will wear human face and redefine economy of the day.
Now realizing that a group like this actually took notice of all those stages of trying to go into new things and trying them out and seeing that they are bringing out good results.
It's less for us now to go back to various institutions, organizations, to bring out a new idea that will promote the various parastatals that will better the country Nigeria.
We are going to SME in my company, in my organization, so that we can help them to not just giving them the money. Somebody has to give them the ideas on how to use this money.
This lecture is coming at a time when Nigeria is hopeful of driving operational excellence through innovative strategies for desired and optimal results. In Abuja, Tokpe Alabi, NTA News.
From the judiciary, we hear 9 judges of the trial court who have been recently elevated to the bench of the Court of Appeal will on Wednesday, 20th September 2023, take oath of office. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, will administer the oath of office on the newly appointed 9 justices of the Court of Appeal. Meanwhile, Justice Amina Adamu Aguele will formally retire from the Supreme Court bench on Thursday, 24 September 2023, after attaining the mandatory retirement age of 70. Sports update is next.
We begin with Sports Minister. Nigeria's Minister of Sports Development, Senator John Eno, will on Monday, September 18th, depart Nigeria to Spain, where he will join industry experts at the World Football Summit, holding between September 20th and 21st. The gathering of global football aficionados will take place in Sevilla, in the Andalusian region of Spain. John Eno will be participating in the event to further open up Nigeria to better footballing and sporting opportunities, as well as collaborate with other countries in a bid to position the sport in the nation. And to athletics now. Nigerian track star Tobi Amusan bounced back strongly to clinch the gold medal at the Diamond League. Amusan came first in Oregon with a time and season best of 12.33 seconds to clinch the gold medal. Victory in Oregon made it 3 consecutive times that Amusan won gold in the Diamond League.
Really good start there from Kenny Harrison. Camacho Quinn looking strong too. So is Williams. Daniel Williams with the lead at the moment. Applying the pressure from the rest and trying to come back at her, but they're not going to catch her this time. She takes it there. Camacho Quinn.
In another development, Nigerian jumper Ese Brume was close to winning her first Diamond League title, but missed out eventual winner Ivana Voleta on countback as they both recorded a jump of 6.85. Brume finally settled for silver medal at the Diamond League. She won a bronze medal at the last Olympic Games in Tokyo before going on to win silver medals at the 2022 World Athletics Championship. And finally, to table tennis. Nigeria's table tennis ace Aruna Kadri defeated Egypt's Ahmed Saleh 4-0 of 11-2, 12-10, 11-6, 11-6 on Sunday to clinch the men's singles title at the 2023 ITTF African Senior Championship in Tunisia. The Nigerian Olympian proved too much to handle for the Egyptian with a comfortable win. Aruna has successfully defended his African Senior Championship title. With Sport Update, Suleiman Musa, NTA News.
We're done with Panorama. Thank you very much for your time. I'm Ruth Aguele. Bye.